Hello there, I am back with Mixu's Excellent Lords mod. This time I'm going to go for the Legendary Lords Part 2 pack. I put a link to my playlist which covers the Mixu Lords video which I've done before and some of the videos I've done on Mixu's work. So I'm splitting these up like I did before. So in this video I'm going to look through the 3 Legendary Lords of the High Elves and the Lizardmen, as well as a few special characters. So let's go into the first Lord and into the lands of Caledor, the famous domain of the dragons, where we'll find Prince Imrik, the greatest dragon prince alive. A descendant of the Phoenix King, Caledor the Conqueror, Prince Imrik is the ruler of Caledor, the home of the dragons. Once you need to look up to see the dragons flying across this part of Eltharion, but now they are almost gone, and Imrik is one of the last of the dragon princes, and one of the few elves left that dragons actually listen to and you could say respect. Starting in the southwest corner of the High Elf lands, and of course at Tyrion's starting point to the east. Naturally, being the last of the dragon riders, he becomes a few buffs to dragons as a faction, bringing cheaper recruitment and a very nice ability of more dragon breaths. For his own army, added speed for dragon princes and dragons, and of course, he has them for cheaper upkeep. Especially good because these units are some of the most expensive available to the High Elves. A mighty warrior, Imrik has a stat line to back that up, with typical high skills an elf brings to the battlefield, high attack and defense, boosting 140 AP and a bonus to charge of 22. A formidable opponent, also having a high armour and silver shield. With a dragon armour giving him 75% resistance to fire and 25% physical and 15% missile resistance, making a very, very tough elf. He can also ride Belannaer, one of the Arse Great Dragons, and Imrik and this dragon have a very close bond. Abilities wise, he boosts all the melee defense around him. The dragon killer makes any flying unit immediately fear his presence, and a must if he's to be brought on a dragon. He also brings some items. A one use map wide buff, making everybody unbreakable for 28 seconds. I don't need to tell you how viable this can be if a rout is imminent. And he lastly a weapon, the Star Lance, making up for your AP, and has a long buff time of 43 seconds. With good increases in melee attack, and with that a sundering ability as well, making this a very formidable weapon. So here we are with Prince Imrik on his little shore on the southwest corner of Eltharion. So his campaign. Intriguing one for High Elves, because on the whole, High Elves starting occasions are nothing special really. They're pretty much always surrounded by elves, and they might have just one faction to beat, and as in this case, he's got the Vampire Coast right next to him, which is a bit annoying to say the least, especially with Count Nocius right off his shore. So it's not a nice place to be. I don't think the garrison's that big here actually. No, it's not that big at all, so you can quickly take it, but keep it away from Count Nocius, another matter. I'm presuming you're at war with them? Yeah, you are. Other than that, let's have a quick look around. So to the north, we've got more High Elf factions. So you can try to get them in a confederate, or use your influence to confederate with one of those quickly. I'll come back to that as a reason in a minute. To the east, we've got Tyrion's starting place. And the west is overly colonies. You got another Vampire Coast there, the Drowned. You got some greenskins for the south, if memory serves. Yeah, you do. And then you got some ways that have been dotted around all over the place. So as starting occasions go, especially for the High Elves, it's quite a bit different. For a simple reason, there is no port in this province. It's kind of a big thing in Eltharion. There's pretty much every province has at least one port, except for this one. They do have a nice, interesting building though, which is this one, Horror Dragons, giving you a huge reduction of upkeep on that unit, 25%. Gives you some nice trade as well, and it gives you a nice recruit rank +4, unlike the other garrison, which is very nice. So, got a few bonuses, like that, a good iron trade. Let's just look at how much that brings in, because that should bring in quite a bit. Yeah, it's a nice trade resource. And as you minus upkeep as well. So, start education, interesting, because you've got a few options available to you. Obviously this being the key one. And then you can pretty much go where you please on the whole. I think I've started one campaign of this one. I haven't got that far, to be honest. And I believe I was starting off trying to get friendly New World colonies, trying to protect them, but these have been a bit aggressive to say the least. I was trying to get rid of the Vampire Coast, which is not the easiest of challenges, to be honest, because their army is very good. Speaking of armies, let's have a look at Imrik's starting army. So being one of the Arch Dragon Princes, of course, he starts with a dragon. A sun dragon, the weakest of the dragons, but nevertheless, well, it's a dragon, so you can't argue with that. Get a great ego as well. Not my favourite unit. It's fast, admittedly. It's got nice stats, but it's not particularly my favourite unit. And he also gets a unit of Dragon Princes, so as the starting army goes, this has got the Eater of the 8 units in it. A dragon and a unit of Dragon Princes. Not much to argue about there. A couple of cheap spearmen and some archers, so a few more units to fresh this out. It'd be quite a nice starting army, to say the least. And I think we can start to end there for this section. Let's have a quick look at Prince Imrik's skill tree. So here we are with his skill tree. As I've been going through the Mixu ones, on the whole, it's the top section which is the most interesting. But well, I've had a quick look at it through this, and I guess I've started going through this campaign slightly because I quite like High Elves as a unit faction. Most interesting one on the bottom side is, where was it? It's in the middle here somewhere. They are Bastion of Strength, which is a very nice constant buff of melee defense around him. Very nice. And then we move swiftly on, and we've got Defender of the Homeland, which makes it even better with plus leadership. A very worthwhile little skill that. I really do enjoy that one. Then of course he's got all his usual personal attacks. Nothing new here. So let's get straight into more interesting stuff. So you've got Dragonkin at level 10. So this is his flying ability, which I've already covered when I talked about him. Nice minus 12 leadership to anything flying. You don't go for against Prince Imrik in the air. You really don't. Not with this ability. Got the most noble. +1 for nobles. Dragon Princes of Caledor. And as you've seen, you already get a Dragon Prince unit at the start. So very nice. Master of Dragons, because he pretty much is the only Lord that is a Master of Dragons. So very nice abilities there. Make it even harder. Last of the Iron. Last of his Iron. Basically, yep. Last of his Bloodline, if memory serves. And then they've got the Crown Prince of Caledor. So you're the recruit rank. You're the recruit rank +2. Nice red strength for princes and princesses. And a bonus for the yard as well. So that's a nice for yours and all characters. That's really nice ability. Not that you don't often see that type of ability actually. That's interesting by Mixu. So he's got his Dragon Horn, which as you can see is very, very good. Arm of Caledor. Recruitment cost 50% for Dragon Princes. Dragon Princes are a very good unit. Yeah, like say that. And Imrik has got a lot of things to buff them as well. Star Ants, a brilliant weapon. I love that weapon. Barbed, a steed. So if you want to go mounted, and of course he's got his big dragon at rank 16, which is pretty eerie for a big dragon out of that, because that is the Eyes of the Royal Dragon, a star dragon. So that is a very powerful ability, powerful mount. As you see, the stat lines to the left there, very formidable. It's got speed buff and the usual ones, Ward of Forith and Ward of Yorek. So, and that is Prince Imrik skill tree. Captain of the White Lions and their leader, Corhill, is the bodyguard of Finubert the Seafarer, known to be one of the most formidable warriors in Orphan, which is a place where there's a lot of competition for that title. Starting in the north, near the cup of the hand of Nagarife, this is one of the most dangerous starting places in Orphan, so it should be a tricky campaign at the beginning. Faction effects bring a nice vanguard appointment during a forest battle. Not very common forest battles, but still very nice. Nice bit of leadership as well. Suitable requirement for mountains, which is very good. Onto the order effects. It's nice reduced upkeep for the White Irons unit. And it's nice plus 10% for recuperating their losses, which is very handy. Corhill is a ferocious fighter. No shield, as he uses speed and grace with his huge axe to cut down his enemy. With 300 AP, he provides a lot of damage on the attack, especially on the charge. With the Iron Cloak providing 35% miss resistance, Corhill charges into battle with little fear. Supporting the Guardian Ore, as a bodyguard should. He also has the strength of Cairns, allowing him to use that huge axe on any enemy hero, making a formidable duelist. His pelt provides a debuff to anyone near him, with missile resistance, making him great to work a flank with some Shadow Warriors, especially because he's got a 60 meter radius. And he also makes himself immune to contact effects, a rare ability in Total Warhammer. Finally, his feared axe, adding a huge anti-arge buff and boosting his AP even more, making him a dread of any arge unit. Because he's known for his hunting ability, it is fitting that Caledor has such a weapon to cut down even the arge's foe. So here we are, I'm in the north of Warhammer with Caledor here. So, his starting location. One of the toughest ones you probably come across in the High Elves, because he's bordering very, very strong and Dark Elf faction, which is of course the Scourge of Cain. And here, these settlements, I've just had a quick look at this before I started recording, their garrison is really formidable, all of them, really formidable. There's only a small army here, but this could be quickly expanded on, unless you just take it out completely in the first thing, which is I would recommend Hyrie. I haven't actually started this campaign at all, and it might be one I should have a look into, because it looks like it's an interesting campaign. So, his province, let's have a quick look at that. So he starts off with 2, so he starts off with a complete province, which is very nice, and of course he starts with a port, like most higher factions, so which is really nice. So trade can be quickly started. Other than that, so he's got the rest of the over Dark Elves, and to the south, he has got quite a lot of problem issues, because I didn't actually realise that. Like I said, I haven't started this campaign, and Scourge of Cain have got the Phoenix Gate as well as a torso in here, so a very strong starting for this particular army. So to the east is of course more High Elves, Gothic, and of course you got the Bretonnian factions to the further east, and possibly ample trade possible there. So up to you what you can do at this point. I would suggest out attack on Dark Elves myself, because you got here, and then you got over Nagaland and all that to the northwest. But in the meantime, let's have a closer look at his army. I don't think there's anything special about these particular provinces, so let's have a quick look. Oh, he's got the White Iron hunting grounds, of course he has, I forgot about that. So a nice bit of upgrade to White Irons, and of course that's his specialist unit, so he has a lot of buffs for. So that's always a good idea to get. It's only rank 4 as well, so it's not too bad to get. And of course he's got some nice bit of trade items there. Other than that, nothing special about this particular area. It's a good starting area though. It's just that you're bordering with a very good Dark Elf faction. So, his army is okay. He does start with two units of White Irons, which is pretty good, and of course he is a very good fighter. But other than that, Silver Helm's not a bad unit by any stretch. Quite a good charging unit, well, a very good charging unit, because High Elves. And an Eagle Core Bolt Thrower, which is possibly the only redeeming feature. And much as I quite like the White Irons, I don't think they're the toppest tier of these type of units. But Eagle Core Bolt Thrower is a very nice unit. Really provides some nice artillery at the start of your campaign. And other than that, that is pretty much Mr. Caledor here. An interesting starting place. Probably one of the toughest, as I said at the start. So let's go and take about his skill tree. So here we are with his skill tree. Pretty much a standard affair, this one. Not much to say about the bottom 2 tiers. As you'd be able to see, they're pretty much the standard ones. There's nothing exceptional about them. Obviously very nice, but nothing massive. Then of course he's got his own particular bonuses, which, being that he is a combat horde and a very formidable at that, definitely might be worth going down there quite early on. Personally, I've always quite gone down this street to get the Bowmaster, to get all the ammunition, but High Elves archers are very, very good. Not as good as Wood Elves, but very, very good indeed. So, let's think of the top tier. So we've got Strength of Curnus, which we've already gone through in my unit abilities. You've got Finbar's Bodyguard. An interesting skill tree this, with skill point, because it increases influence, and anything that increases influence is very good. +2 whenever you max out. It doesn't sound that much, but it does add up over a long campaign. Goes with Veteran. Nice bit of campaign movement. Pure Main Company, some very, very nice bonuses for the White Irons there. Really makes them into a really proper unit. Monster Slayer, so that's his own personal abilities. And the Captain of White Irons, so nice bit of leadership for White Irons. And actually Vanguard deployment during forest battles, very nice. Even though there's not that many forest battles, let's be fair. Top 3, So I got pelt. It's pelt, which is very good. I think that's a really good item. Whenever did you get that? 13. That's quite late on actually. I would have thought I might be a bit over than that. But anyway. His unique weapon at level 19. Very strong weapon that. Very strong blade. And of course the speed and the usual traditional ones at the top here. So there you go. That's a very quick look at Core Hill's Legendary Lords skill tree. The oldest living Your Master of Horif now, Belannaer the Wise, a powerful mage. One of the original mages who surrounded the coast of Orphan with a maze of spells to hide and protect the High Elvian Island. Starting in the hands of Saphery, a relatively easy starting location, with the Eltharion to the west and Etienne being his only neighbours. Faction effects wise, he has nice diplomatic relations with the Order of Your Masters, which is not really surprising. Him and Tekwis are best buddies, clearly. Nice winter magic power reserve increase as well, and untainted. Your effects wise, naturally has lots of buffs for Swordsman of Horif, leadership and a nice hero recruitment, and of course nice cheap upkeep of minus 30% for a really expensive elite infantry unit. Naturally weak in combat, Belannaer is about the gifts of a mage, but he does best the Your Master of Horif skills with the blade, given that he can wear his forged armour to boost his stats up to the match of any Your Master of Horif from the White Tower. Magic wise, he brings a varied spellbook, where he can cast using metal shifting, smoke and mirrors, and finally the Shield of Saphery. Belannaer can cast spells from all different types of yore, showing his prowess with magic. We have Flamestorm, Searing Doom, the Withering, Pan's Impenetrable Pelt, Earthblood, and finally Arcanum Forging. Items wise, he can also bring the Book of Phoenix, giving him regeneration. And finally, he has a weapon, his staff, giving him a powerful direct damage cast. As you can see, it's an affordable magic yord, and can also be turned into a affordable combat yord at the same time. And here we are with Belannaer the Wise, the arse of the Mixu's unlocked factions, the High Elves. So how does he start? Well, he starts off with a lot of territory. This entire settlement down here, or 3, to make this one province. And with some very nice buildings to start off with. He's got iron straight away. He has he's got something else as well, hasn't he? He has got in here a nice building tree, the Eye of Horif, which provides even more hero recruitments for mages and Your Masters, which is very nice. And some nice unique abilities when you max it. Other than that, a very good starting point. So let's have a look. Oh, how many ports do you have? I think he's only got one. Yeah, only one port, but a port is always handy. So compared to the other two, this one I'd say is slightly easier. I've actually played a bit of this one, not much. I haven't had much time to play Warhammer at the moment. And recording videos takes quite a lot of my time, to be honest, which is not that surprising. So let's have a closer look. So to the west is the main problem, Dark Elves, which I covered briefly when I looked at Core Hill, who starts up the north here. Other than that though, you can probably storm these two regions quite quickly. And then you've got Avion there. So that is an immediate trade route. And of course you've got your port trade. To the east we've got the mountains, and of course being High Elves you can't actually go under the mountains. There's no gap here. Just to make sure people are aware that there's no gap anywhere down here. I'm pretty sure there's no gap there. No, there isn't. I'm just checking after we had the campaign map upgraded, but there is still no route there. The only route is either to go through here or go by sea through Yoffrun and out. So a very secure starting position, I think. As soon as you solve this, you're pretty much covered back here. It might not even worth making garrisons, to be very honest. It's so well protected. So I've got over there. Right, so yeah, let's go straight to this army. So you just start with a Your Master of Horif as standard, which is very nice. Soul Masters of Horif, the actual Soul Masters of Horif, so which is one of my favourite units. I love this unit. I think it's a really good starting unit. Spearmen, some archers, some Reeve archers. Like I've said numerous times, I do like my missile cavalry. I do like my skirmishers, and a very nice Frostherd Phoenix. Next to a dragon, this is really good. Really tough thing to bring down. Great weapon strength, And a very nice little unit to start off with. And of course you've got Belannaer, who's a very good caster, which we'll go to a skill tree in a second. So I think that's just about covered everything. So yeah, of the three we've just covered, I would say this is probably the easiest one. And a challenge in its way because, yeah, you'd have to, I would say, take it to the Dark Elves again. I think rescuing the Dark Elves off this island is probably the key bit, especially this unit, this army, and this army over here. So, with that being said, I think we can go straight to the skill tree and see what spells we have for Belannaer. So here we are with Belannaer's skill tree. So, it's well interest in this one. We can ignore we've got the usual traditional ones at the top bottom here. Which you get for mages, nothing that special, and of course all the buffing for the Horde, for his army, which we've seen numerous times by now. So, here's his magic. So I went over briefly when I did his skills, but briefly touched on his magic. So here you can see of all the possible ones you could do. So you can really tailor your Belannaer to whatever you like. Do you want to go very combat heavy? So Flamestorm, the Withering as well. So all attacking spells. Or you can have a few different fields. You can mix and match. I do like it when Lords, magic users, have a bit more variation with the magic. I find it a bit restrictive, especially for the Legendary Lords, who are supposed to be really powerful magic users, to have lots of different choices from different types of Lords, so you can tailor your character a bit more. I think it adds a bit more to the roleplay of it. So there's a lot of options there. Next, we've got his Braids, which is a very good ability. Which has got some nice little weapon, but possibly not as good as some of them, but really, really powerful. The Path, Illumination, so anything to increase your master's health, always a good idea. And of course, something to boost the units themselves, very good. Master of Battle, so buffs himself. Web of Death, some abilities for heroes, very nice. And Ward on the Saphery, so nice when defending, really nice. Then his Staff, which is very powerful. Adding much more power reserves, adding reducing enemies' power magic, very powerful. And only at rank 10, that's a hell of a weapon at the start. Teacher, or Sorcery, so that unlocks more mages. Your Master, was that? No, it unlocks hero coming to mages at all provinces. Well, that's very interesting. What basically saying is, instead of having that ability in that particular province, you can have them take that ability and you can have it anywhere. Very, very powerful. Kind of makes sense though, because of what like I said, he's one of the most powerful mages of the High Elves available to. If I was anywhere near English, which it really wasn't. Anyway, you get what I mean. So, more starter magic, Winds of Power. Guiding the Youth. That's quite cool ability. Like that. And the Oldest Your Master. So yes, he is the oldest one, and that just reduces everything. Nice miscast base chance minus 40%, enemy wins magic, power reserve reduced by 15%, and his own magical and physical resistance. Very nice. So something for top tree. The Book of Phoenix, that's his regen, rank 8. Well, that's very early on. Crook of Stars. Diplomatic relations with men and high elves, very nice. Speed, Power, and Ward of Ulrich, Ward of Forth, and a greater arcane conduit. He's got really a lot of abilities to buff his magic, as he should, because he is one of the greatest magic users for high elves, and indeed in the game. So there you go. There's a very brief look at Belannaer the Wise's skill tree. Before we leave our fun on the high elves, we need to talk about some extra lords available from this mod. If you build the Sacred Framer Arasun building, you can access Caledor as a hero or lord. The famous captain of the Phoenix Guard was an arrogant youth in his early years, before he did his traditional pilgrimage to the shrine of Urshan. This being a high elf noble tradition, but Caledor in his arrogance went into the holy chamber of the days, a sacred place to the high elves. But he came out a different person, for now he had a rune on his forehead of Urshan. He then immediately went to the Phoenix Guard order and placed his allegiance to this guard, and in thus he has never said a word since. As the captain of the Phoenix Guard, he is a fearsome fighter and a master of the halberd. 290 AP and a huge bonus for his charge of 30, making him on the defence very tough character to crack. He can also give out with damage as well, as a lot of enemies do not challenge him lightly. With physical resistance of 30%, he also brings his abilities Witness to Destiny, providing a great ward save to anyone near him, and he's great for protecting casters or any other unit of his worth. Saying that, if he's not with a unit of Phoenix Guard, or even better the renowned version of the Guard, hang your head in shame. He also has this Phoenix Braid, giving magical and fire damage, as well as the combat bonus which come with such a potent weapon. A great addition to your higher fjords, as a hero and protector. Onto the Lizardmen now, and I started in with Tetto'eko, or Astronomer of the Constellations, one of the greatest skinks priests who the Lizardmen have ever known. A priest so in tune with the heavens that these bodies have known to realign themselves when he takes to the battlefield. So revered is Tetto'eko, mainly because the Lizardmen never use when he's on the battlefield. Starting in central Ustria, but surrounded by enemies, making a tough location to start, with ruins around him, which may be scathed and infested, and a tribe of greenskins to the north. Naturally, being one of the greatest skink priests to ever live, his faction effects are rooted in boosting these particular units. So, massive upkeep reduction of minus 50%, hero capacity plus 2%, and some ambush defense chances. Then moving on to the Yord effects, he's got hero recruitment plus 2 for skink priests, faction wide, and he's got a lot of buffs for the Salamander units. One of my favourite Lizardmen units, very handy abilities. Nice massive casualty replacement of plus 20% and a huge upkeep reduction as well, another minus 50%. Very powerful abilities. Naturally, he has all the spells from the Awe of Heavens, but also brings on for special abilities. Picking 2 uses of the Uranian Thunderbolt, which doesn't require magic, and the Shield of the Old Ones. Also brings the Blood Statue of Spite, which is a very nice damage dealing ability, with 4 uses on a small cooldown of 60 seconds. And also brings the Roar of Quetzal, boosting armour and melee defense all around him. Okay, let's take a bit of a closer look at that campaign. So, let's be fair, our friendly Tetto'eko really starts in a mix of some ratty problems, because there's ruins everywhere. Ruins there, there's one down here if memory serves. Yeah, ruins here. And the only Lizardmen faction close to you is Cult of Sotek. Other than that, there's another ruins here. And of course you've got the greenskins to the north, so you really do start in not a nice place. And just to make it even harder, you do start off the capital, but it's only tier 1. Well, it's not even tier 1, is it? It's the basic tier. So, and if you can see the turns into surplus, got 13 turns before this gets anywhere. So, priority is to take another province and hopefully capture both provinces very quickly. So, not the easiest starting location by any stretch of imagination. An interesting one though, because there is a nice building in here, if memory serves. Yes, there it is. Temple of Eclipse. So that just boosts research rate and hero capacity for skink priests. And as you see in the skill tree, he's got a few bonuses of that. So, greenskins to the north, scathing all around you, stuck in the middle with the Cult of Sotek. Right, let's get into this army. So, as style armies go, pretty decent. You got himself, you got a skink chief, which you start off with, and on the whole, I don't like having 2 casters in an army. I prefer to split them up. So if I was playing against these, I've never started this campaign, might do one day, but I would kick out, well, get another army running as quick as possible, put him in that army, and then have a Source of Blood or something similar in this army to protect. Oh, tic-tac-toe here. It is a tough priest to start with over Skaven, and you're really under pressure to make this particular army last as long as possible. So you got the Saurus, got some red crested things, so you got pretty good started melee fighters. Got a couple of skink skirmishers, very nice. And you got a Salamander and a Salamander Hunted back. So that is a very nice couple of units there. These are very powerful. And I'm sure anybody who's played Lizardmen know how valuable this unit is. And an Ancient Salamander is a nice bonus as well, to be fair. Without those two units, this would be a really tough campaign. I think it's a pretty tough campaign as it is. But if those two units were in there, this would be very, very hard, let's be honest. So, with all that being said, let's dip into his skill tree. So here we are with his skill tree. As traditional, there's nothing much to say about the bottom ones. They're all pretty much the same mold. Got a nice Shield of Road ones there. I think that's worth mentioning because that's a really good ability. But other than that, all these are the same. Then you got his Yor of Heavens, so that's all very nice, which you can max out. But no special abilities for this one, just the Yor of Heavens, because that was what he was in Yor. So what's the make of this top one? So that, as you can see, is very powerful. Shows you. So it wins the magic cost -6, but it does increase the cooldown of it by 250%, which is quite substantial. But it makes it a lot cheaper. So pros and cons there. Herald of Cosmic Events, so that increases magic power resistance. Fate Weaver, nice depot activations for Lizardmen, very nice. And nice movement range, always good. Ancient Eater, so because he's a skink, he really buffs his skinks. Framing Hunters, boosting his Salamanders. His official title, Chief Astronomancer. So you can say some very nice abilities, nice construction ability there actually. And it's a very nice ability for heroes for skink priests. And across the top, let's go back a bit, we got the staff, which produces the abilities for Comet of Caledor, and I do love that spell. And as a bonus, it's one of the most spectacular spells in the game. The Eye of the Old Ones, Vanguard appointment for certain units, very good. Ancient Stegodon, so you can ride a massive Stegodon, which is really nice. Duty of the Lizard, so that's a missile resistance, yep, and protection of Old Ones, and the R3 Arcane Vessel. So got a nice fireball spell right at the end there, 300 meters, which is very long range, and a very nice ability. So there you go, and that is the arse of the skill trees. And let's get on to some more other bonus units. The previous Yord is used in the Mixu's faction of Nyoka, but the following appear throughout your campaign with the Lizardmen army. So let's start off with this first Yord, and so however you say that name. A swan from a second spawning, making one of the oldest swan alive today, with 4 abilities in magic. Providing smokes and mirrors when he casts spell, a constant hex around him in a 30 meter radius, dropping melee attack and speed, handy for weakening those front lines, but as all swans, combat is not their strong point. Of course he's got Shield of the Old Ones, and he has 2 uses of Pit of Shades for no magic cost. Also you can cast a mist, hiding any unit for 30 seconds. Anybody fancy a stealth Dread Saurian? Spells wise, this swan brings a nice range. Milkoff's a Mystifying Miasma, the Pendulum, Pans and Pens Repelt, the Course of Anarir, Apotheosis, and Soul Quench. During your campaign there's a chance for the greatest chameleon skink hunter to appear, Oxyrattle. The timer is reduced when fighting against Chaos, Norsca, Dark Elves, or occupying settlements with high Chaos corruption, or just in general removing Chaos factions from the map. When he first appears though, you have a formidable Yord, an ancient chameleon from the times of the first Chaos. Known for appearing when he detects the Dark God's minions, he arrives to fight these demons and push them back from his homeland. Possesses a very powerful ranged ability, and of course possessing all the usual chameleon skink abilities, such as Stalk and Fire and Moving. Oxyrattle has also Warp Poison on his attack, be it ranged or close in. A formidable force to attack from the shadows, and can be easily linked with more of his kin for a very potent ambush force. Being Master Predator ability, which boosts his even more potent damage, as long as Oxyrattle is left hidden and unmoving. A very powerful ability for such a ranged Yord, where his AP is pretty low per shot. As a chameleon, he doesn't want to get caught in combat, so this ability allows Oxyrattle to quickly escape a dangerous situation and run away. Lastly, he has a Bull Pipe, providing a high damaging sniper ability at single targets, with a huge range of 200 meters. This ability can provide viable damage against any Yord or hero. My last character to look at is Chatax, a hero which you can be recruited immediately if you're playing as Haxiato or Xenopek. He's one of the few sources who is trusted to protect the mightiest of Sarans and is known to keep vigil over his masters for centuries at a time. One of the oldest of the Temple Guard, and nobody he is protected has ever been touched by a braid. As you might expect, a very good combat hero who starts getting closer to some Lords, with a huge damage output of 310 AP and 10 anti-charge. There is a reason nobody's ever survived young enough to warrior a Swan that Chatax protects. Give him some abilities such as Eternal Warden, a powerful debuff to really give a Chatax the upper hand in any fight, and of course he has Guardian Aura. He'll also be given the key to the Eternal Chamber. Basically, there's no escaping Chatax. And finally, he has a Starstone Mace, giving the wielder a huge splash damage and providing an excellent Thunder Armor debuff. And that is the end of part 1 of Mixu Legendary Lords 2. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in my next video.